Travis Wingoods, the channel Gospel Lessons. They've switched their thumbnail to a lunar eclipse. They've got 53,000 views in 13 days about a video titled "How Bad Does It Need to Get Before the Second Coming?" Agency is the key. Oof. It's one thing to want to silence me for the knowledge that I have. It's another thing to be an influencer of misinformation. Dear God. He's unaware of Oakes's talk about the second coming, in which Oakes said there's nothing we can do. Our agency will not change prophecy. That it's coming, destructions are coming, whether we're righteous or not. So his little thing at the end, agency is the key? No. But he's under the wrong impression concerning how bad it needs to get before the second coming. Not to mention he's using second coming rather than latter days. As all of us have been in the Mormon Church know, there is one question we have concerning the latter days. When? That's the question on everybody's mind. When? Because we've got a whole bunch of prophecies that are supposed to happen, but we don't know when. And so I'm the exclusive Mormon, Joseph Smith Mormon, not Brighamite Mormon, because Brighamites love to be inclusive or exclusive concerning who's a Mormon and who isn't. All those who branched off are still called Mormon, unless you're a Brighamite Mormon, you ain't Mormon. And so that confuses critics and ex-Mormons and those who are not Mormon, because the church doesn't want you to know that there are other branch-offs besides the Brighamite Church. In order to solidify their reign as the true successors of Joseph Smith, they've got to dismiss all the others. Well, there's nobody else. They're it. We're the successors. It's us. We're the true church. Nobody else. Nope. FLDS? I don't know who they are. They're not from us. Nope. We don't know them. So, yeah, a lot of confusion is caused by the church, especially in regards to the second coming, as I've done the videos correcting the errors, even from my #1 video of all time, because that caused the church to panic. 40,000? Yeah, that got way out of hand. We got to slow Travis down. The scriptures are very clear that there's a time frame for the latter days, and all the prophecies fit into the time frame. And so it has nothing to do with how bad it has to get for the latter days. We'll just call it latter days, because wrong on calling it a second coming. Because notice Jesus in Matthew 24, they ask him, when are you coming again? And he says, well, Son of Man, Son of Man, Son of Man, Son of Man. It's hilarious. He doesn't talk about himself. He only talks about Son of Man. Little paranoid today because of a bathroom experience. This is a nightmare scenario here. But let's try to move on. And it could just be some other guys carrying in the smell. Even in the laundry room. God. Anyway, I digress. There is an order of events, but all the prophecies fit into the 7-year time period. Oops, I gave it away. John in Revelation tells us the time periods. Revelation 12 is the beginning, the birth, and the death. Revelation 19. So 2017, 2024. I'm betting they don't know it. I'm not going to click on their video because otherwise YouTube's going to throw up gospel lessons all over my feed when I come to YouTube again for the next several months. That's the last thing I want, because false doctrine, false doctrine, false doctrine, false doctrine, false doctrine. And yet they're extremely popular among Mormons of the Brighamite persuasion. They do not know the subject matter. They do not study the subject matter. They do not know the original languages of the scriptures to correctly translate the Bible so that it can be the Word of God. And yet, here they are. And it most likely has to do with an Old Testament passage for the latter days. Maybe Ezekiel. I don't know. But Ezekiel has prophecies of the Mormon, who's supposed to be the Christ, giving his actual birthday and nativity and birthplace, and where he moves to. It's 17. If you're not going to watch my videos, you're going to remain in darkness and ignorance from what the church tells you. But and so let's get to one of those instances. In verse 20 or chapter 25, we get the parable of the 10 virgins. Starts off with then shall. It's a continuation of 24. They didn't have it separated into chapters and verses when it was written. It's all one text. So this is just continuing on with the topic, which is the latter days. And Oakes has talked about this, and he got it wrong. But, because it's not 50-50. It's more like one person and the rest wicked, foolish virgins. I mean, dear God, you missed the Exodus. And so, you have the 10 virgins who are waiting for the marriage supper feast of the Lamb. Revelation 19. So we know that they're waiting for 8 April 2024. You're not going to get it if you don't know how to identify star dates from signs in the heaven scriptures. And so, what is this talking about then? Because we're in the latter days right now. We know when the bridegroom cometh. We know the date now. We know Mormons are the virgins. Which is, yeah, hilarious. Because how many Mormons are actually virgins? And the sad part is that, unfortunately, many women are getting raped by Mormon men who are bishops and primary presidents. But nonetheless, we can now interpret this parable. Because what are Mormons doing right now? Are they waiting for their Christ that Joseph Smith says they were going to have? Or are they waiting for someone else? Like, Jesus. Doing videos exposes me to the allergies and all hell breaks loose. How bad does it need to get? So you don't want to see me plugging up my nose with toilet paper, and you don't want to see me with a mask. You can't hear me. So you'll have to endure my coughing. And so it talks about the Spirit through oil and lamps, and that they need to have their own. They can't just buy from the other people or borrow from the other people. Can't live on borrowed light. And what we've seen is you missed the Exodus in 2020. And so now what we have are the prophecies from the Book of Mormon about the second election fraud and the climate change destruction. And we've already got a taste of it with the Ian, but there's more and greater to come. And when is this destruction? When is the day that shall burn as an oven? Well, like I said, we're running out of time for those remaining prophecies in the time frame. And so, yeah, we're upon it. It's nigh at hand. And so as you read in 3 Nephi chapter 11, after the climate change destruction and the failed second coup attempt on the government, which I'm really hoping for, but you guys missed the Exodus. And you didn't protect the Constitution in the first coup attempt with the violence that followed thereafter. And so I'm not really hopeful for this time around, but nonetheless, there's signs in the heavens for that election day anyway. A lunar eclipse. And then a follow-up with Andromeda, which I don't think I did the video, maybe? No, I don't think I did, because I was silenced during that time period, so I couldn't do it for you. But David and Goliath, David gets rocks, throws them at David, or Goliath. What is a meteor? It's a flying rock. And Andromeda, anybody seen Clash of the Titans lately? Either version will do. Then you got Wrath of the Titans if you'd watched the reboot. But yeah, those are the scriptures. They're the same. Those are prophecies of the latter days. So yes, the Book of Mormon is correct when the Jews' manner of writing is prophecy. So David and Goliath, not literal history, it's a prophecy of the latter days. You're going to get screwed up otherwise if you think it's literal history. As the Jews are still digging up Israel, trying to find evidence of King David. He's not there. You're not going to find him. He's in Egypt. Look in Egypt. Language of the Egyptians. He's in Egypt. Armageddon 1 was the king of Egypt. Took a little break on the hillside of Salem. Then they built a temple in his honor afterward. And so they slept while waiting. It took too long. So they slumbered and slept. And so they didn't prepare. They weren't studying their scriptures beyond the manuals and reading. You have to actually study. I've been trying to help you, but you refuse. You rather get angry at me than save your lives. Because the foolish virgins didn't get in. And where are we supposed to go? Oh, the Salt Lake Temple? No. That's the Exodus from, which means they're the Great and Abominable Church. Is it Independence, Missouri? That's my 40,000 view video. I was wrong. The church lied to us. That's the Danite headquarters. It's code for election fraud. That started the Mormon War and got Joseph thrown in Liberty Jail when he had nothing to do with it. But you're not watching my videos, so you're confused. And so I've been going over where we're supposed to go. I've been going over the videos of all the people who know, except for Mormons, who know where we're supposed to go. And where we're supposed to already have had 2 years now building the temple. And there was supposed to be a period of time where we were hindered from building the temple, but you didn't go, so we weren't building the temple, and thus we weren't hindered from building the temple for that short period of time. So those prophecies aren't going to happen. And so those who make it with me to the correct location before the date, after the destruction, will have no temple. We will have no mountain cities of Zion and New Jerusalem. And as a result, I'm not even hopeful that there's going to be even a wedding. Nonetheless, now you understand one person versus the rest, foolish. And yeah, I mean, you can't, it's a bizarre tactic that Mormons are using. We'll purposely not study so that we won't fulfill, and thus it'll happen. I don't get it. I don't get it. And so, yeah, you're not going to see Jesus, I can guarantee that. Kind of a bummer, spoiled the ending for you. But Constantine created him. And so, got fooled by the church once, shame on them. Fooled by continuing to believe the church, shame on you. And so you don't even know who your Christ is that you're waiting for the wedding for. And so you're going to go to the wrong location because Salt Lake's destroyed, became a pillar of salt. Ooh. Yeah. Didn't see that one coming, did you? And you go to the wrong place, and then you never see your Christ. And so you're going to have Mormons rise up. I'm the Christ. I'll take over leadership. We'll build a temple. We'll put the inverted pentagram because that's how Brigham had it. It's a pretty star. And, somebody might have the handbook of instructions of racism, sexism, bigotry, and outright hatred, denying Joseph Smith as the Jew. So, how bad does it need to get? It's already bad. It's already here. And you missed it. And I have no hope for you. I have no hope for YouTube releasing my videos. Release the Kraken! So that you can see my videos and be warned. That's the sad thing. And so it's not actually the door that gets shut on you, because it'll be open 24/7. It's the concept of you're not following the Spirit, you're not going to go to the right place. You're not going to the wedding. You're not going to know who your Christ is. I know you not. You never knew him. You didn't know his voice. You weren't following his voice. You weren't producing the fruits of that voice to know him. And thus you got fooled.